What's up, everybody? Zach here with the Nerd Cave news. This week in gaming, Xbox wants all your money. Like all your money. Give it to them now.
X wants to give it to you. Want to give it to X, not the other way around.
Yeah, they want it all. They've got to make up for that. Those billions of dollars are buying Activision, so they're going to get it.
And closing studios. Still salty about that one.
Guys, this is the Nerd Cave News, and I am one of your hosts, Zach Dykes, joined by Derek Daniel.
Okay.
I have no name for you tonight, Derek.
Oh, I'm the man with no name.
The man with no name?
Yeah.
And the man that also doesn't watch the animes that he's supposed to watch.
Listen, I watch at my own pace and I watch my anime, so it's okay.
Yeah, we're doing that as a community, Derek, and you're just like, ah!
I mean, I'm living my weeb lifestyle where I just live secluded and don't interact with humans.
Yeah, well, you could watch anime and talk to humans about those animes, just like we do over in Eat Sleep Anime.
That's true. We just had our new episode a couple weeks ago.
It'll be coming out on YouTube very, very soon when I get a chance to it.
Yeah.
So go over and watch it on Patreon for free right now. Join over there. You got to join, even on the free tier. Yeah.
Heaven forbid you create an extra step. So you know what I mean? Just do it. Like, it's free. All you got to do is fill out information. It's free. Like freemium.
Yeah.
It's not freemium, free.
Yeah, it's 1000% free. So, and you'll also get to see our Jujutsu Kaisen season 0 and season 2 review over there. That is for free and paid members. Amy says, I'm sorry, I forgot to make a name. You're good. I totally forgot about a name because I had to set up the studio. I tore the studio down. Derek, me and Amy cleaned a good bit of the studio. You can actually walk around in here and not die.
That's a plus.
That is a plus.
Because and it wasn't even that bad. It was just clutter, just sitting in corners.
Oh, it was bad. Trust me.
Oh, I'm going off of the last time I visit.
Yeah, it had gotten to the point where it's like, I feel unsafe in here. Did I do anything about it for a while? No. I did not. No, why would I?
Just like putting off your haircut that Amy's been telling you to get.
Yeah. Yeah, true. Very true. Yes, I agree. It still needs work, but it is way better. Like there's just tons of cords that just need to be gathered and put away. That's the biggest thing right now. And just junk. Like there's still some junk that just needs hurling. You know what I mean?
I'm about to say that's what happens when you're married to a tech head. That you have wires everywhere.
Wires for days. Guys, this episode is brought to you by the Epic Games Store, where you can support us by using creator code NerdCave at checkout. No additional cost to you and our wonderful patrons, but more about that later. It's time to talk about some gaming news, guys. We want your thoughts. We want your opinions. We want all those deliciousness in the chat-a-rooney, because this is the Nerd Cave News. We sit down. We chat about video games. We're glad that you're here. We do this every week.
Except when last Thursday's a holiday.
If it's a holiday, we're not doing it. That's just how it works. That's just how it works. That's how it works. College Football 25's Ultimate Team includes current NFL players too. That's very interesting.
Brother, can you believe that we're a week away from getting back to the glory days of sports games?
I'm excited.
Now, how worried are you when we get this game and it turns up being trash? Like, remember how they brought NBA Live back and it was absolutely god awful?
True. Like there is a big chance that it is bad.
Yeah.
Like, just trying to tamper our expectation.
Right.
There's a big chance that it could just be just a trash fest and not any good at all. But
Yeah.
I'm hoping, Derek.
Well, let's look at this and see. Let's see. Players build dream teams using using real players from 134 FBS schools, past and present, complete against AI or other players. Current and past college football stars include NFL players like Patrick Mahomes, Devontae Adams, Christian McCaffrey, and Joe Burrow. New NFL draftee Brock Bowers from Georgia, that's now on the Raiders. New programs, in case you missed it, and legends. In case you missed it, features players from iconic moments in past seasons, and legends showcases legendary All Americans against current stars. And of course, it's coming up, like we said, next week. It will be out. I think those dates are wrong. I think it's the 13th if you get the deluxe, and then the 16th for release. So.
I'm looking it up. That was from the old IGN. Let's see. Initial release date is the 19th, it's saying.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Okay, so never mind. So we're
next Tuesday is when it's coming out.
I'm an idiot. I'll say I'm thinking. I say I got my dates mixed up. So we're right. But yeah, so it's still
That's
next
okay.
week because I'm thinking. I know you want to say something. Don't I hear that smirk? But so what does this do? Because obviously, like Joe Burrow had a really good like pretty much one of the best single season college careers with LSU, and then of course Patrick Mahomes, and Devontae Adams, they were good at their schools, but they never dominated. Like Josh Allen did too. Like he played at Wyoming and had like a bad couple of years there, and then you're just good enough to be drafted number one based on his mechanics and his features. And now he's a superstar. So I wonder if they're going to use what they were in college, or are they going to kind of like mix it with make it more realistic with how they are today in the NFL? Because Patrick Mahomes is one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and it's like he wasn't the best college quarterback in back when he played. So it's like, how realistic are they going to make it? Are they going to make him OP? Or are they going to make it true to what he was doing in college? And the legends, I already know, Zach, if they include like the Tim Tebow Florida Gators, he's like, give me that.
Yeah, I got to do it for Percy. You know what I mean? I told Percy I'd do this,
and then stab people's eyes out with Brandon Spikes.
Which on that team was also
the
Pouncey twins, but there was also another person.
Yeah, never mind. Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So I highly doubt that they name that person if it's on there, but I'm excited for this, dude. Like seeing like the ultimate team and everything. I was surprised to see they're bringing some NFL stars onto the rosters.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm all down for it. Getting to which, of course, I'm sure we'll see lots of Alabama stuff.
And
maybe we'll
go ahead. No, finish your thought.
Also like seeing some of the like teams from the past, like the 96 Florida Gators, even the 96 Seminoles, because they played the national championship, was both of those, which is absolutely insane to think about. So it's like seeing those, even when Troy was like really, really good,
winning seeing 6 conference championships in a straight
in 1 year.
I almost said 1 year. So
yeah, it would be cool to see all of that. I highly doubt they'll go that deep into the schools, but you never know.
Right. I mean, especially since it's been so long since we've gotten a college football game. But we were wondering, it's like, because their whole thing in their sports games was Ultimate Team, and it's like, how will they implement that in college? And this actually now, again, monetization, like how invasive will the microtransactions be? Like that's still going to be there. It's EA Sports, it's in the game type thing, as
It is in
mockingly.
the game.
So, but it's at least a fun and different concept than what we're used to. Now, of course, they have the Legends mode in like Madden
Hmm.
and FIFA, but having like current stars that you see nowadays, and some of them like Christian McCaffrey was really good at Stanford. So seeing some
Hmm.
players that dominated the college front and now are dominating the NFL front, seeing like having them into the game is really cool. Is a really cool concept. So I think they have it right in this one, and it'll actually get me to try it out and probably last more than probably like a few weeks trying it out, like I did with Madden. But I just wonder, like, again, my only concern is how invasive will the microtransactions be in this game.
Yeah, like anytime EA 2K as well does anything like with my team or Ultimate Team,
Yeah.
it gets pretty invasive. I am wondering how they're going to get around likenesses and royalties, especially for like I'm assuming they're using Patrick Mahomes. He's getting some sort of cut
Oh
with
yeah.
all of that. But when you think about the college athletes, which are now able to be paid,
Right.
let's say, superstar shows up this year, he's the running back for LSU, whatever.
Yeah.
Like his card becomes super important to the Ultimate Team. Does he see a cut of it because of the
Right.
whole new thing that's going on with like sponsorships and everything for
Hmm.
college athletes? It's like I hope that the players don't get taken advantage of. And we already reported several weeks ago kind of the interesting and laughable amount of money that people were getting paid for being part of the game, their likeness and everything.
Yeah.
Um, what do you think about that?
About like them like getting like pretty much bare bones paid.
No, like if they, let's say, that running back becomes,
Oh
he's,
yeah. No, I mean, again, it all depends because I'm fine with it and I agree with it because again because that's why the game had to stop was because they were starting to it was about all downloading rosters from sites that were making you pay for it stupidly when there are free sites that do the same thing, and they found out about it. And it's like, well, you can't do that, especially since players aren't seeing a dime of this and you're using their names which we were not allowed to put in the game, but you're doing it through a
Mhm.
third party. So I like that, I think that is a fine aspect, but I also wonder and fear, like, because so the NFL, right? Like there's always some garbage teams every year, and then
Mhm.
when their fan bases know they're garbage, the ticket sales decline. But in order to keep up with the stadium cost and some of the maintenance, like base costs of a lot of their stuff, the NFL takes the ticket sales and pools them and pretty much does like a base divide across all
Mhm.
32 teams to basically help recoup some of the teams that were terrible, without them going in the red. So I wonder if they're going to do that with players. And it's like, they bought more of this, but we're going to give everyone a base check just because we, even though we featured a card for longer than this one, or we made this more prominent, we still want to make it fair for you guys.
Yeah, I could see that as a possibility.
Yeah,
Um, but that is the NFL and this is EA. I could
yeah.
totally see EA being like, okay, you've signed on the dotted line, you're getting your $500 or whatever it was,
Hmm.
and a copy of the game. Again, some athletes are going to get more because they, have the power to negotiate because they have representation and everything.
Hmm.
But I think it's like, okay, if you've signed for that, anything that is made off of your likeness past that initial thing
Hmm.
is going to go solely into EA's pocket.
True.
I think
And
that's how they're doing it.
and that's true too. Like, I think it'll go solely into their pocket, but also, like, say, let's go to the other side of the argument and say that they do get paid. Like, yeah, if an athlete gets paid more, like if the start because you've earned that stardom. Like, if you're the
Yeah.
best quarterback in college, like you know, f- you know, it's just like NFL. You're the star, like the quarterback Dak Prescott for the Dallas Cowboys. Like you're one of the most historic teams in the NFL, and like you're a quote unquote America's team, whatever that means. And no matter what they've done, what they haven't done in the postseason, they're still the Dallas Cowboys. So you're going to get more commercial deals than say the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, who hasn't done jack squat. So and for people saying like, oh well, I don't want one athlete, like there's 134 schools represented. I want all the athletes to get paid. It's like, well, not everyone's a star where they're at. Like, yeah, they're good, but they're not nationally recognized.
True. And I will be very, very interested to see how this all shakes out once we're a year into this process where we're getting college football 26. I would be I would love to be a fly on the wall to see what the numbers are, how much is made on Ultimate Team, and what the cut is for EA and the actual players.
Right. It's going to be skewed toward EA. Come on, man.
Like, let's be fair. You think about, Madden, like, yes, they get paid for it, but they're not getting paid, billions of dollars or anything like that. They're getting a small percentage of the sales because Madden does well, but it doesn't do like Call of Duty numbers. Like they're very hardcore fans, but I don't really know anybody that buys Madden every year anymore.
Right. I stopped buying it.
Yeah, like you were literally the last person that I knew that bought Madden every year. Maybe Robbie. But now college football, like my friend at work, Nick, he was like, dude, he's like, are you excited for college football? Like the game coming back? And I'm like, yeah, man. He's like, dude, I used to play that all the time. And he's not even a football guy.
Oh, like, really?
But he likes the college football game. So like that says a lot about what this franchise is. And yes, it's going by a different name and everything, but I'm stoked. I can't wait to get it and dive into this game.
I was gonna say this is where now it's a crazy concept, but it's one of the few that I think actually deserve. It's sad that there's not gonna, and I'm sure there are places that there are still locations that will do it, or at least like an early release. But this is like where you go to GameStop for that midnight release to pick it up. Yeah, like that's like you want to go to the ultimate nostalgia, and you know what? I've been out of the game for a while, pun intended. And it's like maybe GameStop is doing something nostalgic. Hey, college football's back. We're gonna go back to a midnight release. Or something like that. I feel like they're going to do a 9 p.m. release or whatever. What if they even do that anymore? But this would be the game to do a midnight release because there would be lines out the door in a lot of places.
Oh yeah, 100%. And it's not necessarily like college age people. It would be a little younger than us and up that played those games because like they were so important to like. I just know every year I had to get the new NCAA game. So I'm super stoked for this. Can't wait to get it. And I want to know how many people are jumping into college football. I almost want to do an online dynasty with Derek and see who can win. Every week we battle it out. Who's going to have the best quarterback? Who's going to have, the best stats? This guy right here.
Okay.
Offensively, I'm going to be great.
Who got you to quit football for a minute?
Who got you to quit? Who whooped you back in the day, Derek? Because that was all college football.
Back in the day. I'm talking
back in my day. Back in my day.
Back in my day, I used Florida's playbook for every team.
It worked.
Until it didn't.
If I could use Florida's playbook with the NFL teams, I totally would.
Of course you would.
Yep. That's just how it works. It's just how it works, Derek. What's up, Travis?
I was going to say, what doesn't work, though? Price increases for a Game Pass.
Exactly. Price increases are coming, and there will be new tiers coming to Game Pass.
So Xbox Game Pass Standard is $15 a month, excludes day one releases, EA Play, Game Pass for PC, and cloud gaming. The next tier up is Game Pass Ultimate, which is $20 a month, which increased from $17 and includes all bonuses not in the standard tier. Then we have the Game Pass Core, which is a yearly price of $75, which is up from $60, and the monthly price remains $10. Offers online access and a smaller library of curated games. And finally, we have the PC Game Pass, which is $12 a month, up from $10, and includes day one releases. And it's, if you're like, well, I got my funds are tight right now, don't worry, because this won't officially kick in until September 12th, and all is when it'll take effect. So go ahead.
What's interesting about this is if you have a membership already, you will not be getting these price increases for, like, if you stack your months or whatever. So you can go ahead and stack your months, but as soon as September hits and you're not a member or you don't have any months stacked, then you're going to be getting hit with these new prices.
Sort of like when GameStop raised their prices for their pro membership, and it's like, oh, if you lock in, you don't have to pay that new price until it expires. And I'm like, okay, got you. So, yeah. But yeah, like, so what's your takeaway from this? Because we knew from the get, like a while back, we've been talking about this, like eventually they have to increase the prices because they get it's such a great deal in gaming. And you get so much for, a little price that, they have to offset this cost. Plus, after seeing the Xbox showcase from Summer Game Fest, like, like with all the heavy hitters they have coming to Game Pass, that was the next one where it's like, it's inevitable for a price increase. But what is your takeaway from this?
Well, the last time, it hasn't been that long ago that Xbox Game Pass actually went up.
I thought it was like early last year.
Yeah, that's not really that long ago.
No.
In my opinion. But it is one of those things that's like, okay, yes, Ultimate is $20, which right now, like, it was like $16.99. It's going up to $19.99, which is not a huge difference. Right. But it's like when everything else is creeping up, it just becomes one of those things that's like, my gosh, what else is going to get more expensive? Like gas is expensive, eggs are expensive, groceries in general. Yeah, it's like electricity, like all of it is expensive. And now, like, yes, I know that this is a luxury thing, and I know that it is not something that you absolutely need. And Game Pass, I will stand by it. It's still the best deal in gaming, because at $20 you get a month, you get the day one games. I thought that was interesting that they were pulling that out of certain tiers,
right?
Because used to it was just like, okay, everything gets day one, and now it is only certain tiers are getting day one stuff, which again is not that big of a deal. But what is the curated games that you're going to be getting for the core? What does that mean? Do we get backwards compatible games? Like, I feel like they made this convoluted and unclear, but it's not like super difficult to understand at the same time.
So what you're saying is they took a page out of PlayStation's playbook where they overcomplicated it, but it's not that, once you look at it and take away the minutia terminology, it's like, hey, it's not that bad, but we're just going to make it sound like it's worse than it is.
Yeah, 100%. And like, Acute says Sony raised prices of all of its PlayStation Plus 12 months memberships globally across tiers roughly 30%. PlayStation's top business executive defended the decision, insisting that they must adjust. And I agree. Like, we called out PlayStation when they adjusted it, and PlayStation Plus is worse than Xbox Game Pass.
Oh, for sure.
Game Pass is definitely like top tier. Then you have PlayStation Plus, and then you have Nintendo under that. And like, you get a lot for these services, but Xbox is definitely the better way of it. But Yeah, PlayStation going up 30% is a lot compared to, the few dollars that you're getting. I don't know the percentage
Yeah.
necessarily, but it does add up, and it's like people are, trying to cut back. They're trying, hey, I definitely try to come back.
Yeah. And I
Ye-
mean, to go back to the whole like you kind of saw at the time about how like the highest tier or the highest price tier has the day one games. And you eventually like yes, it was for everybody, but you had to have seen it coming eventually where it's like eventually they were going to put it behind like a tier, like
yeah.
how people do like, oh, if you can, how do different tiers on other like sites or whatever. It's like, hey, this
Mhm.
tier you get this much, or like it's like subscribing the Crunchyroll. It's like, you get in the
Yep.
base tier, you just get this much, and then if you the higher you go up, the more benefits. Or another thing is like if you get a deluxe edition of a game, you get extra benefits. And I
Yeah.
think Xbox just had to do par for the course and be like, look, we have to have some incentive for people to spend their money, so we have to differentiate. Some people may not like it, but we got to do what we got to do.
Yeah, and it does go like I 100% agree with you. Like in the end of the day, this is a business. They're trying to make money.
Right?
It does kind of remind me of how like every service, like streaming service right now, there's a no ads version and then there's an ads version.
Yep.
This is kind of their version of that. Hopefully, we
Yeah.
don't get to the point where we're getting ads in the middle of the
Yeah.
game, which we see that with mobile gaming all the time.
Oh yeah.
But it is that kind of price structure where it's like, all right, you could be, paying this much a month and you don't get all of that, but just a little bit more. It's kind of like the McDonald's, whereas you got small, medium, and large, and the
Oh yeah.
medium is closer to the large than the small, and you're just like,
Right.
I should just get the large.
Yeah.
And yes, I know like Ziggy's in here, uh, we're people are blowing this out of proportion and everything.
Yeah.
Like, I agree. Like, this is not the end of the world,
No.
you know, like it is not the end of the world at all. If you have a PC, which again, PC is a huge investment, you're
Yeah.
definitely going to be paying more. And for me, Ultimate is the only place where you get xCloud. You don't get it with just the Xbox version of
Right.
it. So, like for me, that is a huge benefit is to have Ultimate so I can play on my phone, on my
Yeah.
back phone while I'm sitting on the couch or whatever. Like it is what it is. Amy said, "Money, money, money. It's a rich man's
Rich
world." Y'all
man's.
need to go.
Yep.
Y'all need to go listen to the ABBA song. But it is definitely one of those things. And yes, you get a ton of perks. Game Pass. You get rewards and everything with that. But it like if you do it right, you don't even have to pay for Game Pass. Nate is like is really really good about figuring that out and everything. So it's one of those things. It's like you need to figure out how things work within your budget, what you can afford, what you can't afford. Because again, this is a luxury. This is entertainment. This is not,
Yeah.
you know, you don't have to do this to survive. You know what I mean? Like paying for your food, all of that. Because yeah, it might be $20, but that $20 might be, the difference between you paying your light bill and not. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that is an extreme case. I know that.
Mhm.
But that's people's lives. Like it is an interesting um, you know, it's an
Yeah.
interesting thing to think about. But to acute perspectives point, 30% increase with PlayStation. Yeah, it was a huge jump for them. One thing that I would like to see Xbox actually do is like I haven't figured out the whole stacking nature of things, but
Yeah.
actually giving a year pass, like being able to buy Game Pass Ultimate for a year, I would rather
Yeah.
do that than do monthly. It's
Right.
just like let's just be done with it. But if they do that, then they can't just increase it. It's also interesting. Call of Duty is releasing November 10th, and this
Mm.
is right before Call of Duty, so it's getting
Yeah.
everybody in there. It's like all these new people are going to come in at that newer price tier and everything.
Yeah, that's true. So it's like, hey, you want to play COD day one on Game Pass, like we know you do. Give us that extra month. Give us that 20 a
Mhm.
month. Let's go.
Exactly. Dan says now that I have a decent PC, Game Pass is better because now I get those same games on PC as well as some of the PC exclusive games, and
Sure.
that's what I love. Is I think Frostpunk 2 is coming out this month or came out last month.
It's been delayed so much, I forget.
Yeah, let's see. I love Frostpunk. September 20th. Okay, it got delayed again.
Yeah.
But like I know that it's going to be coming to Game Pass the last time I heard.
Mhm.
So like having that side of thing is really, really cool. So the kind of the moral of the story is, you know, to Ziggy's point, everything's going to get more expensive.
Yeah.
But that's
Right.
just the nature of the beast that we're with right now. Hopefully everybody's pay will get bigger.
Yeah. You know.
Don't hold your breath on that though, guys.
No.
Nate says, I recently discovered that Game Pass app on PC allows cloud gaming now, so you don't have to go to the xCloud site anymore. Oh, that's
Ooh,
cool.
that is cool.
All right. Again, I love xCloud.
Mm-hmm.
It is the best cloud gaming out there by far. I've done.
Come on now. It doesn't stand next to the king Nintendo. Let's get that. I'm just kidding. I can't even finish that sentence.
Nintendo doesn't have a cloud service.
Well, they do that. Well, they had that. What was it, beta where you can do I think play games from the cloud, like the huge games like Assassin's Creed Origins when they did it, and like Plague Tale.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, remember there was there was their first test thing. It's like, hey, Assassin's Creed Origins is coming to the Switch, and it's like, how? And it's like, oh, you could play it through like their own version of a cloud thing, and I'm like, that's going to be terrible.
Okay, like you're talking about where like you buy the game, you have a cartridge, and then the high end stuff is like
Well, no, there
processed
was
on the
never a
cloud.
cartridge for Odyssey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the classic games I know are cloud based and everything, which runs totally fine because it's not that stressful. But I thought you were going to go with Stadia because Stadia was trash.
Yeah.
Trash. Mikey asks, sorry guys, I'm in and out. Is cloud only top tier? So cloud is going to be on the ultimate side of things. That's how it's been for a while. So definitely if you want cloud gaming, you're going to want to stick with the ultimate package, which will be $19.99 starting in September.
Unless you buy now, and that way you can still get it for a cheaper price.
Yeah, try to stack those bad boys. But yeah, those are our thoughts. I want to hear y'all's thoughts. Y'all been chiming in on the chat, which I really, really appreciate. We got a little bit more Xbox news. New Hellblade 2 sales data offers a clearer picture of how it did on Xbox Game Pass and the charts.
And I included this, because I think it kind of ties in well with also why justifying why it's increasing its Game Pass, because there's some staggering numbers, especially for a game that that they've had a lot of showings for. They didn't really, like we talked about a couple weeks before its launch. It's like there's been no marketing for this game, and it's like you're pushing it, you're treating it as it's like one of your top tier games that's coming out. So sales data has been scarce, but Circana's latest report provides insights. Circana analyst Matt Piscatella says that Hellblade 2 ranked 37th in full dollar sales for May. It was 21st on the Xbox Series consoles. The game did not have a physical release. It ranked 12th on Xbox for monthly active users. Trailed Fallout 76, but outperformed Jedi Survivor, Apex Legends, and Forza Horizon 5. Sales performance, it was shared on Twitter by Matt Piscatella, did not appear on major sales charts. Chris Dring noted it missed the top 100 in European sales charts, calling it a brutal month for game sales. And while it might have been a slow month for game sales, that should have been the one that dominated. You know what I mean? Especially with how much like tech and how much like sound design and sound quality that they do for this game and this series. It being 37th for full sales, and like yes, it didn't have a physical release, which I'm sure did end up hurting it and why it ranked as low as it did. but also like with it being on Game Pass and like how many millions of users are using Game Pass, that number should have been at least a little higher, like at least top 25. But I
Hmm.
wonder if this all like seeing this data for Xbox also is justifying them to increase the prices and be like, well, look, if these studios, especially our studios that we own, are not going to make a lot of ROI while being under our Game Pass, we need to increase the price to kind of offset. I don't know if it'll offset the studio's loss, but it'll definitely try and offset Xbox's loss to an extent. So I wonder if that went hand in hand with their decision. Obviously, they may have made this decision beginning of the year and be like, hey, about toward the end of the year, we need to do a price increase. Or I wonder if it was more of a recency thing because we're in like mid-July now, and if seeing this back at the end of May, their sales data was like, maybe we need to talk about a price increase. Like I wonder if seeing this kind of swayed them one way, not maybe not even sway them is the right terminology, enforced or backed their decision to increase the prices.
Like for me, I think they were planning a price increase because of Call of Duty.
Yeah,
It only makes sense, to be honest, because Call of Duty is the largest gaming franchise in the world, like it or not.
right.
And them spending so much money to get Activision Blizzard in their catalog, they have to make Game Pass this ultimate thing,
Oh yeah,
if you will.
pun intended.
Yeah, pun is intended there, but it's like, okay, if you can get Call of Duty, whatever, Black Ops 17,000, um, if you can get it for $20,
Yeah,
let's say $20 instead of 70, man,
yeah,
that's a great deal.
which
And
is
then you
less
get,
a half the price.
yeah, but you really love Call of Duty and you keep paying for it. And we did the math. It was old numbers, but let's just
Yeah.
say $20.
Hmm.
I'm pulling up my calculator. $20 times 12. That's $240 for a year
Yeah.
instead of 70
Correct.
for a game, because a lot of Call of Duty players, guess what? They're going to keep playing it. They're going to keep
Yeah.
playing it. And that 240 is way more than 70.
Oh, for
It's
sure.
100, it's 170 more. And yes, of course, there are other games that are going to be on there, but that is the whole reason that got them onto the platform. Yeah, they might try out more things on Game Pass, whatever, but there are going to be some people that just play Call of Duty.
Oh yeah, for sure. Call of Duty, 2K, all that kind of thing. So then
Yeah.
they'll be the general entry level gamers. But again, if they can get them to just get Game Pass just for one game, they're already making more money than they did.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to look at the games that came out in May.
Yeah.
Hades 2 early access, which I'm pretty sure that's paid. V Rising, which I really want to play when it comes out on
Hmm.
PS5. Braid anniversary version, Ghost of Tsushima, which I think
Yeah.
did pretty well. And then Sinuous Saga. We
Yeah.
just talked about X Defiant, System Shock, Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door. I know
Oh
did
yeah, I
really
forgot about that.
well. But there's not really like
A lot
huge
of bangers.
games, and it's
Yeah.
like Hellblade should have absolutely dominated for the month of May. Like there's
True.
no excuse, but it really goes back to they did not market this game whatsoever. Like I
Right.
don't like, other than showing it at some, press conferences or whatever, or the
Hmm.
game awards, or like that's all they've done. And I feel like they didn't really know where to put this game, because like some people were like, oh, well, it's, God of War. It's not God of
No.
War at all. It's Hellblade. Like it stands in its own kind of category.
It's God of War in mythology only, but I mean that's
Yeah.
it. Like it shares like a similar like Celtic Norse mythology, but that's where the line stops. But yeah, like you're right, we're 100% right, and like we had this revelation because 2 weeks before game release, this is when you're going hot and heavy with the marketing, like
Yeah.
putting on bus posters, all the TV ads, all this kind of thing. You're like,
Yeah, YouTube is just flooded with
yep.
ads for this game.
And we're sitting here doing our show 2 weeks before its release, and we both realize it's like we haven't seen anything from marketing, and it's like it comes out like soon, and it's like we have seen no marketing push, no nothing, and we're just like gobsmacked at how little like Xbox cared. And so it's like you have to wonder, it's like, would those sales data charts be better if Xbox just at least bumped up their marketing just a little bit?
Oh, of course it would be. Like, yes, it would cost more money, but what's the return on that? Like, usually ROI on good marketing, could be anywhere from 30 to, multiple hundreds of percent, if you do it right. And the reason I say that is I work for a marketing company. So it's like, I understand some of that. I don't do the marketing, but I make the videos for marketing.
Right.
But it's like, if you do it right, you can make more money on it. That's the whole reason people market. But it was like, I felt, because of what Xbox has been going through with the closing of studios, with Redfall doing so poorly, Starfield kind of missing the mark as an industry whole. They were just kind of like, do we really? Because they really pushed Starfield. And I think rightfully so. Starfield is a big game, and I think in September with the next DLC that they're putting out, it will definitely help the game. But it's one of those things. It's like, I feel like they were afraid to push this game. It's like, if you're really excited about it, about it, but we're not going to put marketing behind this because we don't want another issue.
Yeah,
I think that's what it really comes down to, and it sucks because it's I haven't played it yet. I really do want to play it, but I know that it's a good game overall. So
true.
Guys, we got a little trailer that we're going to take a look at. It's called Black State. It dropped today, and it looks really, really interesting. And I wanted it to show all of y'all. I wanted to show y'all the goodness of this. I only got a little bit of glimpse of it. So let's take a look at Black State.
All right, that Unreal Engine.
Is this?
Dude, that looks so freaking good.
How can we find the boundary?
Focus. You were sent to save them.
We don't know where they are. We don't know how much time they have left.
Okay, the crows look way better than the people.
I have to know which doors lead where.
You can't.
This is that. Okay.
It looks very Metal Gear.
Yeah.
I found one.
Oh.
Okay.
Looks like I'm in a subway. Moving on.
Roger that. Proceed with caution. Destination is unknown.
Right.
Destination unknown.
All right.
Took him out. His face does not look like a.
Activating the map maker.
He just looks like generic white guy.
Right.
Like with the 90s hair.
Yeah.
It's like John Stamos called. He wants his hair back.
Good point.
Seems busy out there.
Shank.
Stealthy approach advised.
How are these dummies not seeing? Okay, I was about to say.
Right.
Oh, we got that bullet time.
Right.
Definitely giving me some Metal Gear vibes.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, dang.
Brother.
That takedown.
Calling in reinforcements.
Yeah. How was that copter there so fast?
Right. That's a load of malarkey.
Whoa, that's dope. Dang, they just exploded.
Yeah.
They're literally just puddles of blood.
Red rain.
Puddles of Blood was the name of my high school band. We played bagpipes. They blew his knee out.
Right.
Like his knee literally exploded. Oh.
All right. Now we got Terminator in here.
Okay, I wanted to see that fight.
Yeah,
I wanted to see that fight. Oh, okay.
Uh-oh. Hold on.
What do we got here?
You can't escape with running.
All right. Intriguing. It's kind of giving me Metal Gear meets Death Stranding a little bit with the
Yeah.
weird, like, because you see that old man and then you see like the doors and it's like nothing makes sense and it's like, did Kojima make this game?
Dan's like Inception. It does give some Inception vibes for sure. Dan says, I know it's still in development, but it doesn't look too impressive. Like some of the stuff is kind of cool, but like I definitely want to see it later on, like when it's like ready for release. But it does, like, some of the combat looks interesting, but I think the world is going to heavy lift that game. But hopefully it will actually make sense, because I feel like it is going to be one of those, like you were saying, very Metal Gear. You don't know what the crap is going on.
No.
You're just getting to the next 30-minute cutscene.
God, I hope it doesn't have one of those.
You gotta have 30-minute cutscenes.
No, you don't.
Dr. Bio.
Lord.
You've hit him with 20 Rasengan's now.
Right.
So
now we're gonna have and now talk and now it's talk no jutsu time.
Guys, make sure to subscribe to the Nerd Cave News on podcast services that you choose. It might be iTunes, it might be Spotify. We're all over the place. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe over here on YouTube. We also have the podcast available here as well. It's time for some PlayStation news. This one kind of breaks my heart a little bit, but hopefully it will we'll get into it. Report is Horizon Zero Dawn TV series no longer moving forward at Netflix.
So the status is, of course, like he said, not moving forward to Netflix. Context, part of Blackman's $50 million overall development deal with Netflix in 2020, including the original series Orbital. Rolling Stone update, both projects are no longer progressing, and Blackman's relationship with Netflix is as follows. Its ongoing projects will maintain a long, ongoing, and close working relationship with Netflix. New deal signed a new multi-year deal earlier this year. So it's like, hey, these other two that you had planned is not happening, but we still want you to direct something for us and make something on our platform. And it's like, but why? Like, I can understand maybe Horizon, because yes, while it is a popular franchise, it as a media property is still, obviously is an unknown. But Rolling Stone, like, you cancel that, like, and that's now I don't know if it means like it's dealing with it's a biopic of the Rolling Stones, but
no, it was the website Rolling Stone, like the Rolling Stone update both of the projects, like Orbital and Horizon Zero Dawn, because
Got
it was formatted a little bit weird, but all of this is coming from like allegations of toxic bullying and manipulative and retaliatory behavior from the showrunner, which is Blackman. And these claims came from 12 staffers and an HR complaint. But Blackman's response was that he denies allegations, calling them entirely untrue and completely absurd. Now, PlayStation dealing with this, it's like, okay, it's not moving forward with Netflix, which I feel like is an interesting thing. It's like, okay, do they not trust Netflix?
Right, because the God of War, I don't know if it's a movie or a TV show they're doing, but that's on Amazon or going to be on Prime. So I wonder if now they're like, hey, you can get two PlayStation properties, and especially two huge, immensely popular ones. So I don't know. Like, it is disheartening because, in the midst of doing The Last of Us and like showing a trailer and people getting hyped for it and like saying that it's pretty much true to the source material, and then PlayStation's like, oh great, let's go ahead and greenlight this, and it's like, and even the Gran Turismo movie, like it didn't do gangbusters, but I mean it's
Yeah.
Gran Turismo, like it's not a huge property anymore, but even it did, was visually impressive from the trailer I saw.
Uncharted did
Yeah.
amazing. Like somehow,
Right.
somehow it did amazing. Like it's not for me, but it did really
Yeah.
well financially.
True. So Sony wanted to. So I hope they still want to keep this property up because I feel like it would be a great world to explore. But also, like Netflix. Like yes, there's Prime, which does really well, but Netflix is still for what it's just like Call of Duty regardless of what you think of Netflix, it's still one of the kings of streaming.
Yeah, 100%. And like to Nate's side, maybe Amazon will buy it. Like the movie industry is really weird with like IPs and all of that. Them not
Right.
owning the IP, I think will hopefully, allow PlayStation to move it to another service. Amazon also did really, really well with Fallout. Like
True.
they did an amazing job of respecting the source material, making the world feel like it actually was Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
So like I have a lot of trust in them. Again, HBO did an amazing job with The Last of Us season 1, and I know the season 2 will be great as well. But with this, it's like, okay, they handed it to somebody that they quote unquote trusted. Umbrella Academy, back in the day did really well. But now it's like, okay, we had this, essentially what they thought was a shoe-in to be a good showrunner, director, and everything. And it's turning out that, things are not
the case.
Yeah, are not copacetic, are not great over there.
Right.
And now it's like, okay, PlayStation, a lot like Nintendo, they don't like when people mess with their properties.
True.
That's why Nintendo is very, very strategic and like bloodhounds when somebody messes with an IP of theirs.
Yeah.
Like they go after people hardcore. And I think PlayStation is going to be that way with this as well, because they're really pushing Horizon right now. It just came to PC recently, and then we're getting the Lego Horizon game on Nintendo and PlayStation and PC very soon. And now the show, it's like, well, you've messed up the flow. Like the show was supposed to like kind of coincide with everything, and now it's not happening. So I'm hoping for the best. Maybe they will get somebody on the show over at Netflix that could keep it going. But I would not mind it going to Amazon or even HBO. I feel like HBO could do a really good job with it. Just like Game of Thrones and everything. I think HBO does a really good job with their series.
Plot twist, it goes to Apple TV.
I haven't watched anything on Apple TV, but I know a lot of people like rave about it. I just don't think the install base is there.
True.
Tubi. That's where it's going to go, guys. Tubi.
Right. The Mecca.
The Mecca. So, hopefully we'll see, where I don't think it's going to stay at Netflix, though. I think it will go somewhere else.
I agree with that.
They've already, laid with dogs, and now they got fleas.
Yeah. Good point. So bite the hand that feeds you once, then you tend not to do it again.
So let's jump into the PlayStation quickies.
So first off, AMD exec claims the PS4 helped Sony avoid bankruptcy, or at least PlayStation. PS5 was the best-selling console in the US for May and continues to outpace PS4 sales. The PlayStation Portal named best-selling accessory in dollar sales for May and 2024 year-to-date. Tokyo Game Show confirms PlayStation will be general exhibitor for the first time since 2019. PS Plus Extra and Premium games for July are highlighted by Remnant 2, No More Heroes 3, the Jackbox Party Pack 9, Mount and Blade 2 Bannerlord, and Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. PlayStation reveals the Shapes collection figures with God of War, Horizon, and Ghost of Tsushima. New Gran Turismo 7 update is coming July 25th, brings new track and 6 extra cars. Marvel's Wolverine story lead has left Insomniac for CD Projekt Red's Boston team. Ghost of Tsushima was the best-selling game in the US for May, thanks to its PC release. And lastly, Sony Santa Monica is hiring for multiple roles for its new unannounced project.
A lot of good stuff there. Some concerning stuff. Marvel
Yeah.
Wolverine story leading.
Yeah,
Mm,
like now obviously you have to wonder, is the story done? Obviously, like, is the
yeah,
storyboard finished and they're just now pretty much putting it to concept in game. But yeah, that's like, hey man, why don't you come make pretty much a great Marvel title with us? Like, we've done Spider-Man, we've told great stories with that. It's like, sure. And then it's like, I'm gonna bounce, guys. So this is my one and
yeah.
done.
Yeah, because like I understand like after a project's done or whatever,
Yeah.
like moving on, but like in the
Mhm.
middle of a project, that kind of makes me a little worried.
Right. And, and also, but to play devil's advocate, it's like maybe they wanted to move back to Boston, or like maybe they're from that area and they were looking to move back, and that was just an opportunity he couldn't pass or they couldn't pass. So I don't know.
True. Sony Santa Monica hiring for multiple roles in an unannounced project. What do you think that is, Derek?
I think it's a new IP. Like, I don't think
Mm,
it like it's an unannounced project. I think it's a new IP. I think after Ragnarok and Valhalla DLC, you can make a case, strike while the iron's hot, and keep going with it. I think they want to take a break for their next release and just like let the creative juices marinate and just make the next entry really great. And
hmm.
so I think this is gonna they want to get their hand at trying a new IP again.
I'm curious how many people work there. How many people work for Sony Santa Monica?
Hmm.
Let's see, and around 442 people, which is a pretty large
Yeah,
development team. Again, we know that they're working on multiple
true.
games within that. I could see it being a totally new IP
Hmm.
because with God of War, the reason why, like, let's take Ascension.
Yeah.
We love Ascension so much, don't we, Derek? It
Especially that
literally
multiplayer. Multiplayer was top tier, brother.
top tier, and it didn't even break your system.
I know. I know. It's like it was so great. It gave me the yellow light of death on my OG PS3.
There you go. So I think with this, it could be something that is like, okay, we actually get something new.
Hmm.
Um, I think their storytelling is great. Their combat is always really interesting.
Hmm.
Um, I just, what do you think that they're going to do? Because Sony Santa Monica, of course, we've seen them do, a lot of different things over the
Hmm.
year, but we know them as the God of War studio,
Oh yeah.
but what would you want to see? Because we've got, War of Monsters, Starhawk, Hulk, we've got Twisted Metal. Do we think what do you think we're going to see?
Well, even though it's got a season 2, I don't think we're going to see something Twisted Metal. Like, if anything, it might be a remaster, but of from the 2012 version. But I want to see them try the hand, because I know they were trying to do some space RPG with the Battlestar Galactica writer. So I kind of want to see them go, like, try their hand at trying attempt to, like, not rinse and repeat that same idea,
Mhm.
but like go back to space, like just join the new frontier again and just see what kind of story you can tell with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to see Twisted Metal,
Yeah,
as much as I liked it back in the day when I was a kid.
yeah.
I don't want to see that again. I'm just looking over their games. They worked on Flower, Fat
Oh,
Princess,
flow,
um, Flow, yeah, Pixel
junk.
Junk Shooter, Carnival
Yeah,
Island,
I'm
Escape
sure. I'm
Plan.
sure. I'm sure if since they're that big studio and they're working on multiple projects, I could see them like do a smaller title, like another Pixel Junk game or whatever. So
Yeah,
I feel like a smaller, like, indie type game would be like mixed in there as well. But for like their next unannounced project. I would like it to be like something mad. Like if not even a space, do something like maybe like a post-apocalyptic game. You know what I mean? Like maybe something like
Yeah.
in the realm of Rage, or Fallout, or just do something like different again, because again, like I don't like we saw the studio we should mention do something like with a zombie game and it not do as well as say like The Last of Us. So
Yeah.
I don't think PlayStation has that many games in that realm of where like it's like post-apocalyptic or post like pandemic type thing. So I would want Sony and Santa Monica to branch out and maybe do something in that realm to add another thing, add another repertoire to their book, to their belt, and to Sony's. Because they're
Yeah.
1 for 2. Because they're 1 for 2 on those. The Last of Us was great. Other one, not so much.
Yeah, exactly. And like they're really known for like working with other development teams. Like majority of the games that they've put out are actually games that they've worked with other development teams.
So in other words, you're saying they're the coalition.
Yeah, it really does seem that way.
Yeah.
I don't Vigilante V8. I'm trying to remember what that one is. Vigilante
I never even heard of that. So
V8.
I'm out. That's out of my wheelhouse.
Oh, okay. It's pretty much a knockoff of Twisted Metal. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty much just a knockoff of that. Okay. Yeah, I think it might be they're working with somebody type deal, or they might be making a smaller game, which is totally fine,
True. That's okay too,
because
because Zach loves his indie games.
I love my indie games. And of course, like God of War takes time. Like those big
Right.
games like that take a lot of time. And there might be newer staff on there that need reps at making games. And it could
Right.
be a training way to get a game out there that's not going to take, 4 or 5 years to make, because again, they do just take a really long time. And we just got Valhalla for free.
Free.
Dan's like, it's not a knockoff, it's an improvement.
Oh, okay. Dan taking shots.
Yeah, Dan, I don't know about that. Nate says, speaking of indie games, I beat Little Kitty Big City. Ooh, let me know.
Ooh.
Let me know how you like that. I definitely want to get back to it. I 100% want to get back to it. But before I do that, it's time for the Patreon Quick Hits. The Patreon Quick Hits are brought to you by our wonderful patrons. Go support the Nerd Cave by getting your very own Nerd Cave membership to help us continue to make awesome shows like this one, Eat Sleep Anime, and the world-renowned, award-winning in Spain, Portugal, and a little country called New Zealand, Car Thoughts.
Okay.
Those are all lies. But guys, go over there and support us. Patreon.com/NerdCave. Become part of the ship, part of the crew. It's time to jump into the Patreon Quick Hits.
So first off, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot has eclipsed 8 million copies sold. Dragon Age The Veil Guard details bespoke armor, transmog, and other aspects of gear. Switch Online adds 7 classic titles: Urban Champion, Golf, Mach Rider, The Mystery of Atlantis, Solar Jetman, Donkey Kong Jr. Math, and Cobra Triangle. GTA 5 story DLC was scrapped as GTA Online made too much money, claimed senior camera artist. According to Dataminer, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 looks set for Deadpool and Wolverine crossover. Excuse me. Capcom confirms Exoprimal will not receive any new seasonal content just 1 year after launch. Final Fantasy XIV Dawn Trail expansion brought the game to its highest concurrent player count ever. Ubisoft reveals that collector's edition for Beyond Good and Evil 20th Anniversary Edition. Just please, like, I get it. Like, they want to do it, but just stop trying to make this game a big thing than it's not. Like, you had your chance and you flubbed it. Just let it be what it is at this point. Don't quit trying to get people to keep funding to keep the money pit that is Beyond Good and Evil 2 going. According to leak, EA Sports Football Club 25 will reportedly release on September 27th. Ryo Gakutoko Studio teases next game, says fans will be, quote, surprised by what's next. 2K Games is reportedly working on a, quote, unannounced remake. Video Game Deluxe shoots down rumors of new 1940s era game, but confirms it's working on projects for Rockstar. Piranha Bytes, the historic 27-year-old studio behind Gothic, Elix, and Risen, has reportedly been shut down. Cities Skylines 2 console release has been delayed again with no new release date in sight. Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster will feature the original game licensed music tracks. Disney Pixel RPG is an 8-bit adventure starring Mickey Mouse and coming to mobile. The Switch drops the hardest as all consoles decline by double digits compared to 2023. Cloud Chamber is, quote, ramping up for next BioShock game with multiple job openings. Focus Home Entertainment reveals Warhammer 40K has gone gold. Sonic Team's Takashi Iizuka wants to make a Sonic RPG before he retires. WB confirms delay for Season 2 of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Price changes for Hunt Showdown start today. Pal World Dev signs deal with Sony to form Pal World Entertainment and expand the IP. Vampire Survivors comes to Apple Arcade ad-free in August. Star Wars Outlaws features some planets that can be crossed in 5 minutes using a speeder. Respawn has reworked the Battle Pass for Apex Legends, and players don't like the new system. And lastly, Double Dragons is getting a 3D beat-em-up from Arc System Works.
Star Wars, like the Star Wars Outlaws, you can cover a whole planet in 5 minutes. Doesn't sound like a very big planet to me.
Right.
You know,
sounds like
it's
one of those backwater planets.
Yeah, it's like, don't tout it as open world, which I don't know if they are actually touting it as open world, but it's like, that doesn't really make me feel like, because like, yeah, think about Jedi Survivor. It would take freaking forever to get anywhere in that game.
Right, exactly. And that wasn't even open world. That was just big hub areas.
Yeah. So I don't know if I would necessarily tout that. Suicide Squad 2, for anyone that is interested, on Amazon Prime Day, you will be able to get Suicide Squad with your Amazon Prime membership on there. So yeah, if you want to play the game and you got a PC that can play it, you'll be able to get the game on that.
Okay.
So yeah.
So I'm still surprised they're going through with the season 2 content. But
I am too.
They said they wanted to finish the current roadmap and be done with it.
True. Bo says, "Whoa, Double Dragon for reals?"
Yeah.
I put the S at the end. Yeah.
So
I guess Derek said it. I don't know if he's lying or not.
No, it is on the. You could check the doc, sir.
No, I'm good. He said it.
No,
I believe him.
Okay.
I believe him.
All right. Don't give me that look.
I believe him. Guys, we hope you enjoyed this episode of the Nerd Cave News. If you want to support this small, independent company, you can go over to patreon.com/nerdcave. Go toss us a few dollars. You can also join for free over there and see some of our awesome exclusive content that is just over there, like our Jujutsu Kaisen review of season 0 and 2, and the early episode of episode 2 of Eat Sleep Anime, which will be coming out very soon to everybody else. So you want to get ahead of everybody on that. Guys, we love y'all. Y'all have a wonderful night. I wonder if Derek remembers his name for tonight. I wonder. Guys, this has been Zach
and Derek.
Y'all have a blessed week. Bye-bye.